okay, I recorded this video already, and life just, let me be honest with you, life beat my ass, to be honest. But the video corrupted, so I had to remake the video. This was hours ago. But this is a blessing in disguise, and it's so crazy because when I was recording that first time, I was like, oh my gosh. Let me make sure this is on. I was like, oh my gosh, a dragonfly. I don't ever see dragonflies over here, but I love dragonflies. They're starting to change, did you know? And then I saw a ladybug and a hummingbird. It was so beautiful. And it felt like signs that I'm doing the right thing. But this is the rerun, the redo, if you will. So bear with me, please. This is also great because I had a little script, but it was on my iPad. So I talked to my mama because I had something to say, and I feel like this is still worth saying, so I'm saying it now, hence the video. But she helped talk me through it because my mom, she be giving me advice, and I'm hoping that there's someone out here who can understand and maybe relate. Maybe you're too feeling this way. But yeah, let's get into it. It's another dragonfly. Oh my gosh. No, okay. So hi guys. I'm Crystal in the Sky. I'm in my 20s, and let's be real here. To be quite honest with you, I'm feeling very lost. Very lost in the sauce. I'm unsure what to do in this phase of life. And I think I've been feeling this way for a very long time, and I just want to talk about it. So, I graduated high school like 4 years ago, and everybody my age, it seems like they're moving forward. And obviously after high school we all go our different paths or whatever, but the people I started college with, they're graduating, they're going into the workforce, and I am still in school. And that's cool with me. Like, I don't know if it's cool. It's just, I got to a point in school where it's like, yo, I gotta be real, I don't even want to continue anymore. I feel like I've just been genuinely in school. There's multiple dragonflies. Where are they coming from? They're never over here. Also, the sun came out when I came outside, so I don't know what that's about, but it's hot outside. It's 91 degrees. It was 90 degrees earlier. It's hot, and it's humid. The people in the Midwest, they'd be like, it's muggy out here, it's so muggy. But not in a good way. They'd be like, it's muggy. But every time I hear it, I'd be thinking about the Drag Race thing, that it's so muggy in here. But it's hot, humid, muggy, however you want to say it. But yeah. Oh, my drink! My Diet Dr. Kelp! I've been in school for so long, literally my whole life minus a year, because I started college one way, and then I had to take a gap year because that experience was so damaging to my mental, my psyche, everything. And my mom, she was like, you need to take a break, recollect yourself, and go back. So I went back, and I had to start over. So what was 4 years feels like 5. And it's a lot, especially when the people who are in your classes start getting younger and younger, and the people in your age group, they're moving on. And I feel like in some capacity, everybody has something they're really good at, whether that's school, whether that's friends, you know, socializing, being creative. And in this moment, I feel like I have no circle where I feel good at anything anymore. Like, I was a creative, and I still am to some capacity a creative, but to be honest, I feel like my skills have regressed, and I've lost my urge to be creative and my urge to create, period. And that's so hard too, because I'm so uninspired, and it's impacting me a lot as somebody who likes to make things. So I decided to make a video and to talk about it because surely I'm not the only person out here who feels lost. Surely. Oh, my drink again! I'm gonna just hold it. Can you see it? It's a white cup, but it looks a little green because there's Baja Blast in here. But surely I'm not the only person who's feeling this way. And I think it's important to find community in places where maybe you're feeling unsure in life. Maybe there's another path to be taken. But I was talking to my mommy, about this, and I told her I feel like I'm behind in life. And she was like, well, who are you comparing yourself to? And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, if you feel behind, surely you're comparing yourself to somebody, because nobody just says they feel behind when they're not comparing. And I was like, well, the people in my age group, people are starting their lives, whether that's having families, which is crazy, because I'm in my early 20s, like, I'd be like, yo, I am the baby, what do you mean we having the babies? But they're having families, they're entering the workforce, they're moving, they're paying big kid bills, and I'm not there yet. And she told me, and it stuck with me a little bit. I'm hoping it sticks with you. I'm sorry, I'm like touching everything. I'm like nervous. But she said, you're only comparing yourself to people who are doing better than you. You're only comparing yourself to people who are, maybe they are paying the big bills, maybe they're moving out, maybe they're moving across country. You're not comparing yourself to the crackhead down the street who also graduated at the same time as you. If that. You're not comparing yourself to the bums and the rejects. Why would you? Because if you look that way, you're doing better than them. So, and it's not fair to compare yourself to anybody. And even she said that. She's like, you shouldn't really compare yourself to anybody. But if you're comparing yourself to somebody who's doing better than you, you're not even giving yourself a chance. Because, especially if you're like me, I see these people doing better, it's like, dang, what have I accomplished? And it's like, well, I accomplished a lot. I graduated high school. I had to stand up and get back up again when life swung me down. And that in itself is a lot. That in itself is an accomplishment. The fact that I'm still here is an accomplishment. The fact that I'm still working and striving, that is an accomplishment. And you deserve to sit here and be proud of yourself for that. You're still young, you have the time, you're still able. It's another dragonfly. Where are you bitches coming from? I'm sorry. You're able, you can still mold. And my mom, she's getting up there. She's not getting up there, whoa. My mom is still young, she's still cool, she still got it. But life, let's just say, I don't like to put my business out there, life has handed us meaning my family, a bad set of cards lately. And we make it do. She had to go back to college. And I'm like, well, if you could do it, surely I could do it. And you just gotta make do with the best you got. She's like, I'm entering a new career. And that in itself is an accomplishment. The fact that you're able to say, hey, I graduated, not just with a bachelor's, but with a doctorate, gosh darn it. So those are steps. Even as somebody who struggles with anxiety and depression, maybe I can't have a big social circle, maybe it's hard for me to step outside, but I am outside. I am able to do small things. I go to small gatherings, and that in itself is an accomplishment to me. And even if it's not big, it is still worth celebrating because I am one step closer, And I don't know. I say that now, but in this moment, the way life has just been feeling, when it feels like it's pushing you down all the time, that's how it feels with me, at least. It feels like every time I try to stand up and dust myself off, I'm getting pushed right back down. God said, damn it, bitch, stay down. I'm gonna keep swinging on your ass. I'm gonna beat that ass. And it be putting belt to ass. With me, life just, she be going at it. She said, go outside, get that Switch. Matter of fact, I got something better for you. And surely she do, because dang, it's hard out here. But in those moments, it feels like the best thing I can do is rot. And you know, I sit in my bed, I get on my phone, I scroll on the TikToks and the InstaWebs and the chats, whatever people are on. And I found that that takes up a lot of my day. And I was talking to my mom, I was like, what do you do when the best thing you can do is just lay there? And I think of the movie Nerve. Are we familiar with, when did it come out? Like 2016, 2017? Something then. It's about dares or something, and it has, friend, you wobbling. You cool? You are wobbling and bobbling. Are we stable? We're on a trampoline. The answer is no, but here, let me shoot. Let me stop the wobbles and bobbles. And bobbles and wobbles. You stable? You're not stable. Whee! Okay, we stable now? Good enough. You're still wobbling and bobbling. Get it together. But Nerve, it has the concept of watchers and players, and the watchers are the people watching and telling people to do all these crazy activities, and players are the ones actually doing the dares. They're out there, and when we put this metaphor into real life, into practice, when we talk about the TikToks, the clock apps, whatever you want to call it, what the fuck, we have the people who are scrolling, who just do nothing but scroll. And then you have the people who are on there. They're making the content. They're doing the things that you're in your bed judging for. And if you sit there and all you do is watch other people, of course you're going to feel bad. Especially when you see people your age doing things that you can only dream of course you're going to feel bad. Because, and then some people, they do like to project that. Of course I feel bad because I feel like I can't achieve that. But my thing is, I think I can. I think that I am able to do that. The difference between me and TikToker XOX smiley face, winky face, moi on live is actually out there doing it. And it's so hard to think that because life be beating me down sometimes, it's like, well, how could that ever be me? And I sit there and I think about my mom. When I was little, she would be like, you should ask, because if you don't ask for something, you're 100% going to be told no. But if you do ask, it's 50-50. Your percentages, your likelihood goes up immensely. And that's how I feel about life sometimes. Sometimes, if you don't go out there and do it, you're 100% never going to get it. But if you do go out there, you take the chances, you take the risks, you will go out there and you will get something. You're getting farther along than you are by doing nothing, by just laying in bed. And I was talking to my mom and I was like, well, what do you do when sometimes the best thing it feels like you can do is just lay down in bed all day and just be one with the mattress, you know? And she said, sometimes you just gotta be honest with yourself. You gotta sit there and do the work and reflect and be like, okay, what is it that I'm doing? What is it that I could be doing? What is it that I want? And what is the path I can take to getting there? What is the first step to becoming who I want to become? And that is important. As somebody who, I'm a very reflective person, as somebody who takes joy in just asking myself every now and then, hey, am I doing enough? Am I becoming the person I want to become? Am I doing the things that align with who future me wants to be? And if I'm being honest with myself, the answer is no. Right now, the answer is I could be doing more. And I'm brave enough to admit that. Sure, I just did. I could be doing more. I could be trying harder. And I think, what'd you just call me? It's some squirrels in the trees. I don't even know if you can hear them. They just chatting away. I'm like, your mama said what? But I could be doing more. I have the same facilities as most, and if not, I shouldn't push it off, because my toxic trait is I'll be like, oh, I want to create, I want to do more. I'll do it when I get this, that, and the third. I'll start making content when I become, excuse you, my dog is scratching at the door. I'll make better content when I get a better camera. I will do X when Y comes about. Sometimes Y is not coming. Sometimes you have enough. You have what you need right here. Maybe that's the test. Maybe it's not when you get that, because then eventually you do get that. And guess what? You're still sitting on your ass because the goalpost moves further. It's like, okay, I have the camera. I'll do better when I get a microphone, when I get a setup, when I get a backdrop, whatever. And it's like, you don't need all that to be successful in like the creative field, for example. Sometimes the answer is just do it. And I hate that. I hate it. Just do it. Just go talk to them. Just do it, because it gets annoying. It's like, well, how? Where do I start? It's the camera. I guarantee you have like a phone. You could do that. You could record with that. You could try. And the problem I was facing when I wrought is that I feel like I can't try. And I feel like that's the hard part. I don't want to be seen trying. I want to be seen doing. And I don't want to have to build the foundation. I just want the mansion, you know? And that's the hard part. I saw a TikTok the other day, and it was these women in their 30s. They were like, hey, you're in your 20s, you're probably feeling lost. Let me tell you, it gets better from here. It's up from here. I promise you. And of course, in hindsight, I'm sure when I'm like 35 or whatever, I could be like, yeah, it is better. But it's hard being in your 20s, because I feel like if 30s is having the house and like 40s and 50s is like, okay, this house is filled. 20s is building the platform, building the foundation to the house being your goals, your end solution, whatever it is. That is the end goal. And in your 20s, usually you're young, you ain't got shit, and you gotta make do with like your little twigs and hay and whatever, and hope that the big bad wolf don't huff and puff and blow all this down, you know? And that's the hard part. And sometimes it feels like you're traveling and you're walking so far and it feels like there's no end in sight. That's how I feel with school. But as I was talking to my mom, she was like, yeah, of course it feels that way. It feels that way when you're in it. Like, how do I say this? You know how when you play GTA, you can change the POVs? And you could be like first person head on. You only see out of your eyes how we move through the world in real life. You could be like bird's eye, you could be third person, whatever the literary terms are. You can do all that. In real life, you can't. You can only see yourself where you are now. And that's hard because it's like traveling in the woods. In the thick of the woods, where every step you turn is just woods. And no matter where you go, it feels like you're going nowhere because you're still in the woods. And I've gotten to the point where it's so scary and stressful to take any step in any direction. So I'm just gonna sit back on this nice little log and sit for a second because everything else is so stressful and so scary. And that's no longer an option, because if I do nothing but sit down for 20-30 years, I will be nowhere. I will still be in the woods. And it's just like, you gotta take a step somewhere. And a step in any direction is better than a step in no direction, you know? So you just gotta keep going. That's the hard part. It's like, well, when do things get better? When do I have my comeuppance? It's like, you just gotta have faith. And faith is the hard part. because faith is not proven all the time, let me say. I knew since I was little that I'm gonna grow up to be big, or at least do big things. And I don't know where this came from, but something deep in my soul and my spirits has always said, it's you. You're gonna be big. You're gonna do big things. And I've gotten to a point now where I'm older and life has thrown me some hell of a cards. Some hell of a cards. And it's like, well, my faith has been damaged a little bit, but I still know I'm meant to do big things, you know? And I just don't know where to go from this because it gets disheartening after a while, constantly having this bad thing after another. It's like a domino effect of just shit, you know? That's hard. But you just have to walk in faith, kind of. And this doesn't have to be a religious thing. You don't have to have faith in the unknown, but you do have to have faith in yourself. And that's easier than being like, I have faith that God will get me through this. I personally am not the most religious person. I don't know if God will get me through this, but I do know for a fact that I've gone through 100% of every issue that I have faced. And my statistics don't lie. I'll get through whatever I gotta get through. Because I know I can do it. I have faith in myself. And that's important. And I think that there is genuinely... How do I word this? I think that if you have a certain mentality, it'll reflect in your reality. And when I feel stuck and stagnant and I feel like nothing I can do is gonna work and I feel like the best thing I can do is rot, of course I'm gonna feel bad. Of course my surroundings are just gonna sit there and reflect that because that's all I'm telling myself, that's all I'm able to see. But if I switch my perspective and I sit here and I say, hey, I'm gonna be great. I'm gonna try, and that's gonna be enough. Eventually things will get better. If you look at it in a better perspective, eventually you're gonna be like, hey, things are looking up. Things are moving. There is positivity in here. There's more to life than rotting in bed. There's more to life than my mattress. Maybe I am creative. Maybe I can go out and do it. Maybe I will become big. And that's important. That's very powerful. I was watching the podcast The Outlaws with T.S. Madison, and she did a video with Bob the Drag Queen, and they were talking about the power of manifestation, and that whole episode really just sat with me, because especially this one part that T.S. Madison had said, where she was like, I don't know when, I don't know where, but I know. And that is the most powerful part, the part that I know. And that stuck with me because, as I said earlier, I know. That is powerful. I don't know if it's going to be in 10 minutes. I don't know if it's going to be in 10 years. But it's going to happen. I can promise you that. And to have somebody else verbalize that, it feels powerful. It really sits with you. But until then, the thing is not of, I know, it's how are we going to build upon that? Because you could sit there in bed and be like, I know. But in reality, you're not doing anything to work towards that. I believe that faith in yourself is important, but you got to show yourself work. If you're religious, if you're spiritual, you gotta show God or the universe proof that you're capable of doing things. And that is the part that I am trying to work on and be better now. You can't sit down at your seat and be like, I demand a throne, I demand the world, but you're not doing anything worth demanding. You have to go out and get it, and that's the hard part. And I think where I'm at now is I don't want to be a watcher. I want to be a player. And this right here, this video, me communicating to you, friend, this is the first step. Because, let me be honest with you, I've been recording on this camera. And I've just been showing life. I've been on my Good Luck Charlie stuff. If you see the camera, you'll notice that. Because it's literally a camcorder with like little flip out, little JVC. Yeah, it's one of those. It's nothing fancy. I'm sure the quality is mid. But it's something. And it's cute. And also, this is the biggest side note. People hate being in front of professional cameras. People love being in front of camcorders because something about it is very comfortable. Something about it is home movie-ish. It's personal, but not professional. Does that make sense? But it's just easier to talk into a camcorder than it is a professional camera. But where I'm at now is that people don't know me. And so it feels like when things I want, like, to just post, I'm really working on building up my ability to be seen and my ability to be perceived. And this is me starting that because I think what I have to say is important, and I keep getting told by my friends, hey, I would love to hear what you have to say. Hey, you're such an interesting person. I want to see more of that. You should start that YouTube channel. You should do it. And it's like, okay, I'm being told I should. What's stopping me? Because I don't want the negativity that comes with it. I don't want people to see me trying. That's hard. So this is my first step. And I think that because nobody knows me, because I don't get a lot of views, I don't get a lot of likes right now, that doesn't mean that won't change in the future. I think that's freeing, genuinely. So what? You don't have a lot of people around you, you don't have a lot of people paying attention. You could be authentically yourself and not have to worry because guess what? No one's paying attention right now. So do it. Do it freely. Be yourself unauthentically. Because you have the freedom. Now is the time, especially when you're in your 20s. And this isn't even just about content creation. This is about life in general. Because I am young, I'm in my 20s. People see you as young. People in the adult world, they're like, you're 20, you're a baby adult. You're not even a real adult. You don't have no real bills to pay right now, you know? So you can go out there and you can do whatever it is you want to do without being scrutinized until you're like 25. They're like, come on, you grown. Come on now. At least that's how they be when you're like 25, 30. You're like, okay, you're getting a little old for this. But now is the time to start the process. Now is the time to make the foundation. And even if it's bumpy, you can smooth it over. And you can start over and fail as many times as you need to. And yeah, you can do as much rebuilding as you want to do. Because now is the time for that. And that is empowering in itself. And so now is the time to face the unknown and embrace the lostness that I'm feeling, that maybe you're feeling. And now is really the time to just explore who you are and explore what it means to be the person that you are and what you want to do in the future and how you can build towards that now. And I think that's important. And hopefully, if that resonates with anybody out there, join me on this journey of just figuring out what life means to me and figuring out just the niceties and the happiness of life. I think that's important. And I hope that this makes you feel a bit more seen in that lostness. And a bit more understood, I guess. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed me talking for like 30 minutes. Thank you for taking 30 minutes of your day. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.